This video is pretty exciting because we will be reconstructing David Epstein's WR average on Square-1. I think he just got it yesterday with a 6.34 average. The former average I think was around 6.5 by Vincenzo. He got pretty close in the first round where he got a 6.6 average, which is 0.1 away. And in the final, he got the WR average, which is what I will be reconstructing. I didn't reconstruct these solves myself. It was actually Low. I'm not sure that's how you pronounce it, but he's the one that reconstructed these on his channel. So huge thanks to him for providing the reconstructions. The only reason I'm making this video is to provide an English reconstruction and also maybe provide a bit of insight on PBL and some other Square-1 tricks in this video. Before we start, he does use black top instead of white top, so there we go. Here's black top. So here's the first solve. The scramble should be on screen if you want to follow along. In this first solve, he got parity and got his worst solve, so I will be going through this a bit quickly. Here's mushroom. If it's good, you go to barrel, which is a very nice solution. But if it's bad, you have to go to scalp, do a parity shift, which is a bit longer. The scramble actually gives a good solution, but he mistraced it and did the bad solution, which kind of explains why he was a bit frustrated at the end of the solve. So this solve could have been actually a lot faster and could have improved the average by a lot. But since he did do the wrong solution, this is what he did. First off a Z2. From here, U2 slice to get barrel, and then make scalp like that. Here's the parity shift, and then solve scalp like this. Then for the CO, he has black top, so first off do a U, bring this black up, and then U D2 to get the final one up. There's a pretty nice trick there to predict EO, but I don't think he did it. Instead, he just quickly glanced down. That was actually one thing I was really impressed with. His CO and EO recognition is actually really fast. So he looked down, recognized it. There's a line and an L. For here, he did this. And this algorithm, which is a 5-slice version of the algo I used. From here, you have T perm, P perm. So at this point, he pretty much realized he had parity. So from here, you just solve the corners, U D prime, and then JJ. Here's U-Adj. I used to know this algorithm, but I forgot it because of CSP. And I'm guessing maybe he forgot it or didn't learn it because of CSP. So he did the classic Adj first. Then you get Adj parity on top with the long algorithm. And I think he canceled the bar slip onto the bottom layer and then solved it. Now that the bad solve is out of the way, here are the rest of the solves, which are all sub 7. The next test case was fist and then pawn. This one, no matter what, you have to reduce it into pawn, and the way you do that, for this case specifically, to get no parity, is just to get this 2 over here to make pawn in the back. So the way you did this is hide the L, and then put the L back to connect it with the pawn, and then on the bottom set it up into pawn, and then solve it. This solve, I think his cube shape was actually quite slow. It was around 2 seconds, so I actually don't recommend doing what he did. In my opinion, this is a safer way to solve this CS case. I think if you just do this and do this pawn, it's kind of awkward. So I actually prefer doing a Z2 here, and then solving pawn like this, and getting this pawn. And since in the beginning, the left side aligns with the middle layer, I think it's easier to execute this pawn than the other one. So yeah, I think that's a bit better, but either way, he did do his solution, which worked out fine actually. For the CO, it's pretty obvious, just a 1 slicer, 2 here, so just slice up. Then for this EO case, he has LL, which he brought to the front like this, and then solved with this algorithm. This is actually something I also wouldn't do if I was him. Since these L's are in this angle, I would actually do this algorithm. Same number of slices, but you avoid the U move and the D move. But again, what he did was completely fine. Finally, for the PBL, you have SPJ. This is actually almost the exact same PBL I got on my 2-second solve on Square-1. So the way he solved it is bring these blocks to the left. I think that's just to make them easier to track. And then do a D prime, obviously. From here, just do JN this way. And then from here, just do Adj. He could have done it from the front, but he chose to do it from the back, I think. Which still wasn't horrible. Again, this is something I probably wouldn't do. As I showed in my 2-second Square-1 video, this PBL can actually be solved in 7 slices. He solved it in 9, which is only 2 slices more, which isn't too bad. But here's my solution to this PBL. D prime like he did, but keep the blocks in the back. Do VF from the back. And cancel to op-op. And in this case, cancel to bar flip. That's what I would have done. But his solution also worked pretty well, and he turned pretty fast there. Alright, next scramble. This was his fastest solve at 540. We have a scallop here with a line along with a 2. So the best solution for this case is going to be just 1 slice into scallop kite, which luckily he did get from the CSP. He chooses to put the scallop on the bottom, which I think is a good idea, and makes his turning actually quite fast during this CS. So do this, and then slice to make the kite, and then the scallop on bottom, and then just solve the kite scallop like this. Next for CO, he quickly looked down, recognized it's a 1 slicer, and did U slice. Then for EO, he has LL, just like last time, so U2D, and then just do his algorithm. So you'll see this theme in this average, actually quite lucky. A lot of 1 slice CO, and a lot of LL EOs, which is one of the best cases. For the PBL, he has a pretty nice case. This is FG. I don't know this PBL, but the solution that he did, and I also do, allows you to turn actually quite fast. So we quickly recognized the PBL, did a U2 and D prime to get this set up like this. JJ from this angle, and you'll be able to force a good UU. So UD prime like that, without regripping, and then finish off the UU, and then cancel into the bar flip, and finish it off. So pretty nice fast turning on a PBL there, and also his fastest time of 540. Alright, here's solve 4, which is a 656. Here he gets good fist, which normally is just 2 slices. However, he does get parity for it, which is a bit unlucky. However, for this case, it's actually not too bad. First off, do a Z2. This helps with the grip for the rest of the algorithm. Again, I don't like doing this pawn from this angle, so I think it was smart of him to do it from this angle, which I think is a bit better. So make the pawn first, and then do the parity shift right here, and then solve the rest of the algorithm like this. Then for CO, it's just a line here and 2 here, so he does this. There's a trick to predict EO there, but I don't think he did it. Instead, he just does a quick glance down, recognizes the 1-1, and immediately gets straight into the algorithm. Here for the PBL, we get MP. So the way he did it is just CPEP. So bring everything to the back. From here, just do JJ. And then you get W edge, which he solved like this. I'm actually not the hugest fan of his solution. I think the PBL solution is a bit better. I'm not sure if he knows this case. I thought he did, but maybe he didn't use it during competition because of nerves. I'm not sure. But the way I would do this is just to put this in front. From here, just do JJ. And then you get SS, which is a really nice PBL. So that saves a few slices and also saves a bit of U2 and D2 moves. One thing about this solve is that if he did a different solution for his pawn, he actually would have got a really easy solve. So the way I would have done this is just to do this, same beginning. But for pawn, I do the 4 on the bottom layer. If he did this, he would have got another 1 slice CO, which is super nice. And he would have got another super easy EO, in this case an M2. And this PBL is pretty simple, it's just GJ, which is just JJ into NN. So another really easy solution he would have gotten if he did a bit of a different algorithm for the pawn. Here's the final solve, a 577, very clutch, and got him the WR average. Here he has shield. Normally a very good CS case, but he did get the parity version of it. A bit unlucky that he's getting a lot of easy CS cases with parity, but they all seem to work out pretty fine. In this case, for the parry, you just do a parry shift like this. And he chose to do the shield from the back like this. Then for CO, just these two black pieces and this, which is pretty simple. For the EO, gets another quite lucky LL case. So he does it from the front like this. For the PBO, he recognized it quite quickly and noticed that he got KB, which is a super easy PBO. You can already tell here that you're going to get JJ into edge, which is quite nice. So first this is CP, JJ, then you get the edge in the back. Cancels the top layer, which I think was a bit worse than doing the bottom layer, but that still worked out for him. And then solve the cube. So there you go, that's the reconstructions of his WR average. As you can see, a lot of lucky cases, but obviously that doesn't mean his average wasn't deserved. David has been working really hard on Square-1 for the past few years, and I'm really happy to see him finally get a WR average. This average and Square-1 in general, I think has still a lot of room for improvement. I think he even said himself that this average should have been sub 6, which I totally agree with, a lot of easy scrambles. So with the new MGC Square-1 coming out soon, expect a lot more new Square-1 WRs coming from people like David that are just super talented in Square-1. I think this average shows that you don't have to be too fancy to get really fast times for Square-1. I don't think he used really any fancy tricks like PBO. However, what makes him really fast is his insanely fast turning speed and amazing fluidity. You notice that his solves, there's not many long pauses. He looks ahead and looks quickly for the pieces that he needs to find. So that's pretty much it for this video. Huge congrats to David again for getting this world record. And of course, expecting a lot more to come.